So hold on, Chris. What does the stage manager do?
What a stage manager does is everything. We do everything. A stage manager plans from the beginning to the very end. We do everything.
We're involved from the beginning to the very end, and we help a project that is an idea come to be fully formed and come to life, working with everybody who's involved with the production to come to a finish, to come to a full-blown production and start it and end it.
From page to stage.
I feel like the harder question to answer is what we don't do.
What don't we do? Right.
Just because it's always, and it fluctuates from show to show. So like, I don't know about you guys, but like I have a metaphor where it's like every new show is a car. And I'm like, I know how to drive a car, but like what make,
That car.
model, like what car am I
that
driving?
car.
And then
Sure.
it's like, oh, okay, nope, the brake's a little touchy.
Is it automatic or is this a manual car? Do they know what they're doing or do we need to just give them some more instructions on how to do things?
Correct.
We also help people talk to each other.
Yes.
Yes.
Because
Absolutely.
people need to know how to talk to each other. And part of what we do is have to figure out really quickly how to talk to you, which might be different from how to talk to the rest of you, and then introduce you to talk to Anya and how that is done. So we help people make things clearer to each other.
I think we also make magic, right? Like I think when we get into the tech process, we put the lights and the sound and all those special effects and like we make it seem seamless, even though we know it's absolutely not seamless. We make it feel seamless for our audience. That's one of the major things that we do.
Yeah, it's interesting sort of how we have to have this feel for the show from like an artistic and like almost an instinctual level in order to like call it and make it happen correctly. Being able to perceive what a director's vision is and to execute it correctly time after time is it's such technical artistry, and it's really cool.
That's a good point because that involves listening.
Mhm.
And a lot of what we do is listening, not just communicating out, but taking things in and figure out what the priorities are and what the art is and what sifts down to our responsibilities and what can be delegated to others and what is simply information to pass on and what has to be more fleshed out and whose area it is to do that.
And being able to like then turn around, take all that information and then communicate to the person and just be like, hey, I think this is for you. I think this is for you. And just make sure that the project goes off.
I also want to say that we have a lot of fun doing this. Like I know it sounds kind of boring and like
No, sometimes our jobs is to create a dance party. Like sometimes
Correct.
we need to take a break and
Correct.
sometimes it's our job to be like, all right. We're reading the room. Everyone's a little stressed out. Let's put some music on and let's all stretch and dance for half a second to release some of this tension. So it can be a lot of fun, a lot.
I mean, we get to work with all these amazing artists and like help facilitate what the director's vision is in creating this new piece that will speak to audiences. And it's our job to make sure that that idea and that story gets told from the crew, every creator on the project to the audience, like through rehearsal, through tech, through performances. Like it's us.
I also think we build community, not just like on the stage, but like we help set the tone of like what we want everybody in the company to feel and be included. And just, it's more, we do a lot off the stuff you see on stage. We're doing 16 things off stage to help build that.
It's creating a vibe in the room, making sure that we know exactly how everyone feels, but we're also sort of staying in tune to what's happening in the world, but happening within the room so that we can sort of be productive as we need to, but then also take a break from being productive when it's not suiting us.
Can we do a quick thing? Who here thinks that they're an artist? Okay.
Because everything we do is an art.
Correct.
The art of keeping a room in a good place.
Yeah.
the art of helping people communicate with each other, the art of knowing that a millisecond in calling a cue makes all the difference in the world, even though it might not to someone else. You know in your gut when something is right. So everything we do is an art, although it's very different from a lighting designer's art or a sound designer's art. Our art isn't seen in pieces. Our art is seen in the whole.
There's an art to, like, as you were speaking earlier about the blackout, like there's an art to even just like creating a blackout. Like, yes, that blackout was designed by the lighting designer, but the timing of it and the emotion of the actors on stage, you are the one who is reading that, and you create the blackout that elicits the gasp from the audience.
Right.
Like, that is your art as a stage manager. Like, that's not like you're part of the creation in that, but I feel like there is some ownership in the timing of things, and in the whole, there's artistry in that. And it's not just like an execution of it. Like, there's parts of that that's execution, but I feel like there are specific instances where it is the stage manager's creation.
It is a complete palette.
Yeah.
When you're on a team and you're collaborating, since we are, very good at collaborating, but just when you have designers and directors who trust you. And so when you're watching something, like Ruth, what you said, you're like, when something is right. And so you're watching something and you're like, they just need to take a step to the right, or like the light needs to go on the 3 instead of the 4. And when you're in a room that fosters community and a sense of collaboration, and you say, can we just try this? And they're like, okay. And then they watch it and they're like, oh yeah, okay, you're right.
Or even better, you just do it. And they were like, that was it.
You're like, whatever you
don't
called
ask.
that, can
Whatever
do it
you just
again?
did was great. Whatever you just did was great.
Yes.
Sometimes it's our responsibility to be like, this is your intention, but like knowing what I know with the actors and knowing things that you don't know, I'm going to do it here so that they actually do step in their light, or they start the song at the right cue. Like whatever that is.
And taking that prerogative is important because they're not machines on the stage.
Right.
It's going to happen a little bit differently at every performance. And one has to be aware of how what comes out of our mouths with the GO is still consistent with what we have been asked to do, but is consistent with what's happening on stage right now, which I have never seen before.
The art is also taking the unknown and those fun things that happen in the middle, the gremlins that happen in our show, and then just working through them and finding a way of smoothly getting through those issues or working around them without the audience having to be the wiser.
And that's when a team comes together.
Right,
When the
absolutely.
gremlins happen, all of a sudden, everyone, the antenna go up, in the booth, backstage, in the dressing rooms, everywhere, and everyone works together to solve a problem. And that's an art that everyone is involved in, even people who do consider themselves technicians or dressers or sound people, or it's all an art.
It makes me really proud when I can tell that people come into work and they're comfortable and happy to be there. I mean, like, not all of that rests on the stage manager, of course, but when I've made a point to do something to facilitate the comfort of one of the artists, and then they mention something that I've done in like a talkback, or they thank me for it privately later, that's something that makes me really proud to be able to do what I do.
I'm proud of the audiences enjoying or responding appropriately to a production I've worked on. That is the culmination of everything we've done, is so this audience will see it and respond, whether it's with huge laughter or huge applause or with the
groans.
gasp at the blackout that you talked about. I'm proud of the show having the effect that we intended it to from before we started rehearsals.
I think I'm most proud of community and teams that I'm a part of, and just when not that everybody needs to get along, but just like when you know that you can walk into a space and it's safe.
One of the things that really makes me proud of my work is when I know I've been able to help cultivate a trusting environment between both the actors and the designers and the director. when actors can come to me with like concerns that they need addressed, but are maybe afraid of talking loudly about it. And they come to me and they can talk to me about it. And it's like, okay, we can game plan about this. And just make sure that they feel safe and secure in the room, and that they feel comfortable to create the art that they're creating, because they're so vulnerable on stage, and like they're bearing open these like raw emotions, and just making sure that in the realm of the rehearsal room, they're safe.
And I just, we touched on it, but just like with empowering people, just like empowering people to trust their instincts, and, and so to feel valued. Like, I feel like that is what, like, every space and every person, even minute by minute, the psychological need is different. But if a person feels safe and valued, and like we can foster, like, that is a great instinct, keep going. Or like, you know what? But maybe try it this way, or like find something, but like, this is what we want you to do and we know you can do it. But just like empowering people to be people, because we are people. I mean, we're stage managers, but we're also humans.
Right.
Unless
We're people too.
oh my God, I could be an alien. I don't know, but like, we're humans and we sometimes fail, and the world goes on.
I think one other thing that for me, as I've been PSMing a lot more, I get pride out of having a team that's really great and cohesive, and like that they do need me, but they also can like function without me, and they're like really, really great at their job without me having to micromanage.
That's exactly right.
When I
can
can
step back.
Yes,
Yeah.
when I can be like, oh, you all know exactly what you're doing. Like, you know what I need from you, so you can just do it without me having to like look over your shoulder. Because one, empowering younger stage managers makes them really excited about the work. And when they're excited about the work, you kind of rub off that excitement rubs off on you. You're like, oh, right. I remember being that young and loving this and having that kind of enthusiasm about the work. And I think I love having that.
In terms of empowering people, I've had many people come to me in private with a problem, with something they want to tell me. And they sit and they tell me a story behind closed doors, and they're very frustrated or very sad. And then I say at the end, okay, what would you like me to do about this? And the answer is, oh, nothing. I just needed you to know.
There's a lot of that.
Yeah, there's a lot of that. And that, I think that's good. I think that's actually good, that they want to share something that's going on, but then also are like, you don't have to do anything about it. I just had to tell someone.
Just being
And
heard
that's
is so
the chair we
valuable.
sit in.
It is absolutely. Like, even for the actors, but also like for our crew, just like having them there, like, I see you, I understand what's going on, I see your struggle, like, I'm there with you, I understand, goes a really, really long way, just to make people feel empowered, but also involved and valued in the process, right? And I think that that's one of the great parts about our leadership, is that we get to do that for basically everyone that we get to touch, that's in part of our circle.
My favorite thing about stage management is the people, period.
I would agree with that. It's about the relationships you make, and I don't necessarily mean relationships that are friendships that carry on for the rest of your life, but the relationships you make in order to get to a goal. And those relationships are so important for communication and for actually doing the job, and then become fun as well. So I agree with you, Rachel.
I think my favorite thing is being able to, every single day of work, witness the creation of art, and to witness so many different people doing it in so many different ways, and then being able to add my own art to it as well. It is so cool to bear witness to the creative process.
I'm just going to say it. This job is really, really hard. It's really hard, and you're going to doubt yourself, and you're going to ask if you're on the right path. I sometimes still ask that question to this day. And just keep going. If you want to be in this job, you're going to have some heartbreak. You're going to be so elated other times, but just keep going. Give yourself grace and humility, and try to have fun. Like, honestly, like I tell a lot of younger stage managers, like, our job, you can disagree, but it's 90% connections and 10% skill. So people will want to work with you if you are just a joy to be around. Like, yeah, you might not be the best stage manager in the room, but if you can have fun, like, that's what's going to get you in the door, and you can learn from there. And my undergrad mentor gave me the best piece of advice. And, I was working with the director and I was like, I don't know if I'm doing anything right. I get no feedback. And she said, Rachel, the only feedback that matters is the internal feedback.
I think my one piece of advice, and this is just how I've been my entire life, is show up as your authentic self. There will be people who don't get you, who don't necessarily appreciate you, but there are more people who will appreciate you and who will see you for who you are. And as long as you show up every day, just as, ready to do the work, happy, not everybody's gonna be happy because you live in New York. Some things don't go right. But if you show up as authentic as you possibly can and be yourself, other people will see that, and that will shine on for other people. One of the things that I have noticed in my career is that I show up to work this happy, go-getter kind of person, and other people see that, and that helps them in their process. So like if you show up, even if I have my nails done, other people will see that and be like, oh wait, I can be a little bit more of myself because this person is there comfortable in themselves, so I can be myself around them. And so when you show up authentically as yourself, you get people that appreciate you and that will love you no matter who you are. And they won't criticize you, or they will accept you for the way you are.
The question about what our colleagues wish they knew
Hilarious.
about stage managers.
I would like employers who are more involved with the daily process and know exactly what's going on in their rehearsal room. So that at the end of the day, at the end of the process, they have accepted responsibility for what's going on.
If I could change one thing, give us 2 days off, like everybody else in the entire world. Please just give us 2 days off. That's all I'm asking.
A 5-day work week would be so great.
And blessings.
It'd be amazing. Just Monday, Tuesday. We don't need those Tuesday shows. We don't need them.
don't need
no
a
one
Tuesday
comes.
show.
No one comes.
No.
Just let us work on the weekend. Have 2 days off to be real adults.
2 days
Yes.
One of those days is for sleeping.
Yes, exactly.
And the other day is for going grocery shopping.
And that we need support from them like we give support from them
Yes.
like we give to them.
Like we also need
Yes.
grace to figure some things out when we're on the spot.
We are not HR. We are not HR trained.
We are not payroll.
Right. We're not company management. Right.
Just that also sometimes our job takes time. Like I know that we're all like, Energizer Bunny, here's your script changes. But like if you give us a whole new script and need it, just know that it's going to take like at least 20 minutes to print it. So just give us a little time. We just need just a little bit.
And scenes.
Thank you all so much.